right, so I think I have the bugs worked out with this new camera. Let's see how this turns out. This is going to be an entry to Farley's Retro Fancaves contest, his 1,000 subscribers contest. Congratulations, Farley. Love the man's channel. Great vinyl rips, great discussion, a lot of great thrash and other stuff talked about. Uses a discharge intro. Can't go wrong. We're listening to Rigor Mortis, by the way, the self-titled debut, ripping fast thrash from the 80s from Texas, I think. Guy named Mike Scaccia, who went on to play guitar in Ministry later on, I think after Psalm 69. Classic stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. So Farley had 4 questions with a bonus question for this. And they were, what was a single person or event or something like that that influenced your listening tastes significantly? What do you like about the BC? What do you dislike about the BC? And who would you spend a day with from the BC? So let's get into it. And then there's a bonus question for, like, do you have a talent? Which I don't know. I don't think I can answer that. I don't really have any. I'm a pretty talentless fool, so we'll just leave it at that. I make a hell of a mixtape. I'll say that's my talent. I was actually thinking of getting out my skateboard and ollieing in the background, but it's been like 3 or 4 years since I've even stepped on one of the things, so I'm not going to injure myself on video. So for the first question, who is a person that influenced your listening taste? And I guess it could be more than a person, you know, it could be an event or something like that, but I'll go with a guy. When I was 13 years old, and I talked about this in some of my nostalgia videos when I look back on specific years, I got really sucked into the whole death metal craze out of reading an article in some magazine. And that was the impetus to set me on that path to get into all that extreme stuff that was exploding at the time on Roadrunner and Earache and all that fun stuff that I enjoy so much to this day. But there was a specific person that I would always run into at the mall, and his name was Jeremy. Incredibly intimidating looking guy, like at least to somebody who was like a little 13-year-old skateboarder kid. Like waist-length hair, even though the dude was, I think, like 19 or 20 at the time. Goatee, the first person I'd ever seen with tattoos. Pretty tall guy from what I remember from my hometown. And I don't remember how I ended up striking up a conversation with him specifically. I just remember being like, hey, maybe he was buying a tape or something. This was like in 1990, so I don't remember exactly. But we got to talking, and he was one of these awesome metal guys that was just so enthusiastic about the music he was listening to. First person I ever heard about Cannibal Corpse from. I think one of the times I hung out with him or ran into him, he was buying an Iced Earth tape. First time I'd ever heard of them. All this underground stuff that was blowing up, Suffocation, Deicide, and one of the friendliest guys I'd ever met. Super, super cool dude. So, yeah, his name was Jeremy. Maybe I'll throw up a picture of him here. Yeah, first person I ever met with tattoos other than my dad. He had Immolation, Dawn of Possession. Not this album, but the first one. Immolation, Dawn of Possession tattoo, and a Creator, Pleasure to Kill tattoo. And he's still into it, as far as I know. He's into mostly the classic stuff. Drives a truck now. Up until, I think, the late 2000s, he was still playing bass in death metal bands. He played in a bunch of Syracuse bands, like he was in Violent Fury, which was a classic, unknown to anywhere outside of Syracuse, pretty much. Death metal band who were great. He was in a band called Demonophile that unfortunately never recorded anything. They were awesome. And a band called Excoriation, who were around, I think, until the mid to late 2000s. I'll put a link for their stuff if you want to check it out. It's just good, solid death metal. So yeah, that's the guy. That's the big influence. There are some others, but I don't think any single individual or person influenced me as much as him. The next question is, what do you like about the VC? One thing I like that people do, like an approach to being a vinyl community member, a technique, if you will, that I like to see, that I wish I'd see more of, and I should do more of myself, but I always get caught up in whatever other crap I'm doing up here, is people who actively sit and play records and absorb it and give feedback like in real time. You can actually watch somebody chilling to music. The only people off the top of my head that I've seen do it really is Aaron the Metal Theologian, who's the king of that. Just the conversationalist element of real time what's going on, what he's listening to. And Jay from Vinyl in the Van is also awesome for that too. And both of them are incredibly entertaining to watch. What don't you like about the VC? I don't know. There's nothing I really dislike. One thing that's tough is that there's so many people making videos, and that it's kind of difficult to pick and choose because I'm inundated with a lot of people whose stuff that I like to watch. There's a lot of people making videos, and I want to comment and interact as much as I can, but I just don't have the time. Other than here and there, I get caught up with daily life, work and family and that kind of stuff. So I wish I had more time to watch videos. Although I've done them myself, but not in the true sense. I don't really care for the whole idea of unboxings, but I'll say that the people whose personalities are really cool, I enjoy their unboxings just as much as anything else that they do. I just find it odd, the whole concept of just showing something off without having heard it. I like discussion about the music. I don't need it to be overtly technical or super in-depth or anything like that, but I like personal personal feelings about stuff and relating to the music and just saying, oh, this came on Purple, it's awesome, okay, here's the next one. That to me isn't my thing. I don't care for that aspect of it so much. That being said, I've seen some pretty cool unboxing videos where people have gotten really excited and know something about the music and have something to say about it, and that's great. And I've done unboxings myself, but it's after I've listened to a bunch of stuff and kind of absorbed it, and then I pull it out of the box, when somebody sends me a VCLT or whatever. And then finally, who would you spend a day with? Such a tough question. Farley said this was going to be a light one. I don't know. How do you pick your... The thing is, though, with any of this is I feel like us making videos like this and showing off records and relating experiences and everything is kind of a 21st century way of hanging out. A lot of us are busy in adult life, or some people are kind of isolated geographically. So this, in a lot of ways, through commenting and making videos and reactions and entering contests and stuff, is our way of hanging out. I can't think of many people or anybody really off the top of my head that I wouldn't want to do some crate digging with, do some record shopping with, grab a beer with if that's your thing. Everybody's very, very cool that I've met in the VC, and that's one of the things I like about it, is that it's such an even playing field. It's weirdly egalitarian. I've met so many people that have thousands and thousands, some people that have over tens of thousands of subscribers that regularly comment on my videos and talk on Facebook a bit. Everybody's very down to earth, which is really cool. But I would love to hang out with Marty Worm. I'd love to hang out with Brain Smasher. I'd certainly love to hang out with Aaron Margosian, the metal theologian. I was lucky enough to hang out with Eric Bauer in the flesh when I visited Seattle, which I mentioned updates back over the summer, and that was incredible. Super great hanging out with that guy and having a day of records shopping. If I were to pick a fantasy one that is the least likely to happen, sadly, due to geographical concerns, I'd probably pick Leo from Too Much Metal Is Barely Enough. Incredibly knowledgeable guy, insane record collection, and by all accounts is one of the nicest people that I've interacted through on here. So to have a pure fantasy football, what YouTuber would I want to pick? I'll make that my official entry is Leo, and hopefully all the aforementioned I'll get a chance to hang out with at some point or another, because they're all great. Salem, Mass, great vacation destination for weirdos, so keep that in mind. I'm here. So yeah, that's my entry. Talents, I don't know, make good mixtapes. We'll just leave it with mixtapes. And probably some people can attest to that I sent my mixtape out to. Yeah, all right. Well, have a good afternoon, everybody. Farley, keep up the good work, man. Take care.